let's talk about what manifestation is for a sec, you know? I mean, I'm here now, right? I'm in Florida, I'm in the States, and I'm going to be going to New York shortly after this little brief stay. I say brief, but it's actually quite long. I'm in the States for 41 days, okay? All of this month of September, I am in Florida, okay? And the remaining few days, I'm going to be in New York. But again, what is it that I'm actually manifesting here? Is it just a holiday, as some of you have suggested? No, it's not just a holiday. It's my life. Yeah, it's my life. A long time ago, me and everyone else out there, we had an idea as to what it is we wanted to be when we grew up. We had a vision for our lives. We set a standard at the very beginning. As soon as we heard a concept or we heard of something being achieved, skydiving, all of a sudden surfing exists. We're young, right? We don't know about these things just yet. But then we want to do that. We gravitate towards that. And somebody tells us that we can't be a pilot, can't be a Navy SEAL, we can't be an astronaut, we can't even join the public services, firemen, policemen. I know those are simple jobs, but as we get older, people tend to think less and less of us to the point where they just say, hey, just sign up for a retail job. It's easy, it's simple, and you'll be able to live a moderately normal life. Yeah? That's not okay. That's never okay. Those opinions of other people, what they think we're capable of, they are so below our standards that it causes a kind of resistance within us. We don't want to be around anymore. We don't want to be alive. We don't want to be driving a crappy car or being in a really bad relationship. I mean, we don't even want to be in a terrible relationship with our family, because in our minds, our relationships should be at a certain level, a certain standard. Okay? The worst part is when we believe in other people's opinions and we start lowering our standards of life because now we don't believe in ourselves. So when I say I'm manifesting something, what I actually mean by that is I've gotten rid of all of the blockages. I've deconditioned myself through meditation and certain practices to the point where I can actually sit down, live my life, operate my life, and meet my standards in every little avenue, every little area of my life. This dream, my dream. It's my vision. It came from my mind. Okay? It's my standard. And when I hit my standards of living, all of the sudden, I feel better. And that's for a specific reason, okay? What is manifestation really? A lot of people think it's when you get what you want, but it's not, really. Because what you want isn't something that you didn't previously know about, okay? It's not like, okay, all of a sudden those things exist, I want it. It's more along the lines of, okay, a long time ago, I thought it was a good idea. I may have forgotten. I may have put myself down. I may have decided or thought myself out of a good opportunity in life. And then as you get older, it kind of comes up in a new shape, a new form, yeah? Maybe back then you wanted a toy racing car, but your family said you were poor, you know, and the kit was only like £1 or $1 out there. When you get older, that racing car turns into a bike, turns into a car, a proper car, and you deny yourself that car, yeah? Really all it is when it comes to manifestation, it's you having the ability to get in alignment with what it is that you originally wanted, what you knew you could have had but was denied based on everyone else's view of what you were capable of achieving or what you were capable of having. It's you getting rid of their conditioning that they've burdened upon you. It's kind of like a curse. And it's you basically hitting reset on your perception of what you think you're actually capable of doing and having in life. And at the end of the day, when you do that, you become a vibrational match to your own thoughts that used to be a vibrational match to when you were a kid before they knocked you out of alignment. So when you manifest, what you're actually doing is you're putting yourself back into alignment with what it is that you needed back in the past to have a specific experience, you see. So as you do the work, you align yourself Not by sitting there aligning your chakras and stuff like that. I mean by sitting there and aligning your psychology to what you think you can actually achieve in life and not to what you've been told you can achieve in life. You see? And then you start, well, like I said, doing the work. You start going out there and you start making changes in your life, in your habits. Because your habits really have been, I guess, influenced into you based on a belief system. Yeah? A belief system. You won't go out to the gym that often because someone around you says you're ugly. Someone around you says you're gaining weight. See? You believe in them and now you become a vibrational match to their belief systems and you just find yourself being lethargic. You don't want to get up, you don't want to do anything. So what happens? Well, you manifest a body as indicative of their own vision of you. That's not your standards if you think you should look a certain way. You see what I mean? So if you were to get rid of that insecurity that has been basically drilled into you by hearing it over and over again by someone else outside of you who's probably just having a bad day and projecting that onto you, then once you've gotten rid of that insecurity that was no longer yours it wasn't yours in the beginning, right? All of a sudden you'll be getting up, you'll be doing things, you'll be looking at yourself differently, you see. Now, this isn't me taking the fun out of manifestation, okay? This does not mean that magic doesn't happen. Because if we go a bit larger now, outside of the psychology and in your mind, then you'll realize that reality does actually reflect, if not, it's always trying to give you that original intention that you wanted for yourself. Always. It's deep, it's still there, what you want your life to be like. And because it's still there, it is actually pulling those circumstances in front of you on a very spiritual level, one of which many people can't even understand or fathom. Okay, a lot of people out there are reading books about it, but it doesn't quite sink in until you realize how reality is nothing more than you're inside your own head at the end of the day. It is a dream at the end of the day, but there are specific laws which determine whether or not you can create the dream and whether or not the dream influences you, you know? And another way of looking at it is, if you're unconscious and you're inside of a dream, inside your own head, tonight, last night, and you can't move anything, you can't walk through walls, you can't fly. Why can't you do that? It's because you got a belief inside of the dream that you can't do those things, right? And so what happens when you can't do those things? That's a very simple way of looking at it. Here, it's way more complicated because there are a lot of belief systems nowadays which stop people from doing specific things and which stop people from manifesting specific things. Looking at it from a more spiritual standpoint, a bit more now. Yeah, everything around you is nothing more than, well, thoughts manifest. Other people manifest things are around you, you want something and they get to you based on the laws of this dimension or of this dream, okay? If physics is a law, like you have to get on a plane to get somewhere, then you're gonna manifest a trip or you're gonna manifest a stay at someone else's house through that means, a plane. Simple law. Why? Because it's a belief system grounded in this reality that states that you can only get to one point by a plane from one place to another. Yeah? There are other beliefs like teleportation and things that are way cooler, but it's more generally believed that you can fly in a hunk of metal across the ocean to get somewhere. So that's one law governing this dimension which helps you manifest. Just one. But there are some others. There are so many that you could be blocked off of if you're not, well, being open. And that gets me into my next fact when it comes to manifesting anything you want or anything you're supposed to have in the past. And that is, if you think it has to be done a specific way, you've pretty much already set back your manifestations gosh knows how long. Think about it this way. When you were a kid, you didn't know how to get, you didn't know anything, right? You didn't know that if you get into a taxi and pay a guy, he's going to drop you off somewhere. You didn't know that there were 3 parks in your residential area. You didn't know that milk existed until, unless you were fed by the bottle. You didn't know that Chinese food kebabs or any of that existed. You didn't even know that, well, certain countries existed until someone told you that they existed. So, when you were a kid, you didn't know anything, right? Hopefully, if you had amnesia when you were birthed into this world. Not unless you've lived before. What happens is, you have a feeling. It starts off as a feeling. You really don't even at that point think to yourself, how can I make, or how can I get this feeling from something? It's just, you have a feeling, you follow it. It's joy, you're happy. And you go from in to out. You're always feeling, and then stuff just happens. And those things not only support the feeling, but they make it come out even more. Yeah? When you're a kid, you're manifesting like that when you're a child, when you're really small. But people have gotten out of that way of going from in to out to feeling, and then just witnessing reality form in all these different ways, so that they can, well, the reality can, and people within the reality, events and so forth, can support the feeling that's just pouring out. If you focus on the feeling that you want in life, your life will change. The more you drop specifics, the faster your life will change. The less you get afraid of what if this happens and that happens again. You're putting conditions on it, you think it should be done a certain way. If you put all that to one side, the faster your life will change, and it will only change to support the vibration that you want, the one that already exists within the body. As when you were a child, you were like, 3D, this looks nice, right? I'm gonna wander around. What happens? You get a bunch of toys put in front of you. Yeah, that's a good thing. You're wandering, you're discovering the world. So you start playing with the toys. Yeah. Then games came out. People, you start leaving the house, you start crawling, you start exploring. In to out, you're an explorer, you feel like you're exploring. Okay? Manifestation is just aligning the inside to the outside. Don't put expectations onto it. If we go a bit further, I know I was talking about life being a dream. I can actually add more information on that, but let me just talk a bit more about manifestation in another light, and then if I can recall it, I'll bring it back out again. But before you came here, yeah, let's talk about manifestation in the sense of you setting up your life path. Before you came here, you set up your life in a very specific way. You understood the rules of this reality, gravity, cause and effect belief systems, how they cause one individual to have a certain split when it comes to the direction of their life, their circumstances, yeah? When you were in this God state, you understood everything, the rules, the programming of the consciousness at the time. And I don't mean suggestible programming by the Illuminati and stuff like that. I mean general things, cultural programming, family dynamic programming, okay? Where you have to look after your brother because you're the eldest. That is a program. Yeah? It deals with 3D. There are many like that, and you understood before you came here that if you were even birthed in a certain skin suit, that you would end up in a certain direction in life. Yeah? You then incarnated once you set out the path for you to live and experience a specific journey. Within these specific journeys, okay, there are little tiny journeys within the overall journey. I've talked about this in my video before, the life path videos. These specific journeys are there for you to gain moments of awareness so that you can become lucid within this dream. If you miss the valuable information within one little family dynamic, maybe a little argument, or maybe a little argument with your girlfriend or job, your boss, stuff like that. If you miss that thing that's supposed to make you more aware, then what happens is it comes up again at some point in life. And it keeps happening until you get it. Yeah? When you die, you basically eject out of this game, you realize that you've missed a bunch of stuff. You will come back in so you get it again the second time over. Yeah? When it comes to manifestation, from an oversoul perspective, that part of you that knows the game, all you're doing is you come in, you indoctrinate yourself on purpose in this unconscious state, in these false belief systems, so that you basically run around in circles in 3D trying to figure out where you are. Yeah. Then, as you're figuring out where you are along your journey, becoming all these different characters, getting, angry, upset, and happy, falling in love, all the highs and all the lows. what tends to happen is you become yourself. You step into yourself, and when you step into yourself, there's a moment where you get so old. There's actually a saying that says, "The older I get, the less I care about what people think of me." Yeah, that's a real spiritual thing right there. And when that starts happening, what happens is you start pouring out, you step into yourself, you stop caring what people think of you, you start dressing the way you want to dress, eat the way you want to eat, in alignment with your goal when it comes to manifesting. You want health, you want to eat the way you want to eat. That's a big one, it's very deep, the conditioning around that. And what happens as of a result is you've gone from being God, the overseer of your reality, the game. You then come in to the game, amnesia, you're crazy. And then you step into yourself. You're still in the game, you stepped into yourself. And as you trot along in this dream, you're unconscious. You begin to become in alignment with now not just your younger self's first intention, but your over soul, that part of you that was in control, that set out the plan before you incarnated. You become a vibrational match to that part of you's highest intention, which was whatever your life purpose was at the time. So now you're literally manifesting your life purpose because you've become in the correct, adequate alignment to, people call it your higher self. I just referred it to you guys as your oversoul, that part of you that's controlling everything, that sees everything, the overseer, right? That is when you get into solid manifestation. And at that point, it's not manifestation. Clearly, at that point, it's nothing more than you getting what it is that you wanted to get. Or in other words, at that point, it's you, this human version of you, reaching your standard that you set for yourself before you incarnated. So you're basically giving yourself that which you set yourself up to have. You're in alignment with your soul. Reality as it is shapeshifts in order to give you the things that you were supposed to get, the things that you set out for yourself before you incarnated. And at that point in time, it's not a matter of you being that kind of person who gets what they want. Because when you're like, oh, I can manifest whatever I want, I can get whatever I want, that actually sets you back spiritually. Because it puts you in a psychological headspace which is quite damaging. Because now you think you're God and you can have whatever you want because you deserve it, and you start projecting a bunch of negative energy that you had cultivated every time someone said that you couldn't have something. Yeah? And it shows when you see people like this. And they're like, oh, I can get whatever I want, and then they try to get something, they try to manifest something again. They try. It doesn't work. And they wonder why. Well, it's not working because reality is showing you something. It's showing you that you don't get whatever you want. And that the mindset that you're in, that egotistical mindset, it's not only invalid, but it's literally not needed. Yeah? It's a way of the mind trying to project, trying to release energy, and that's all that it serves at the end of the day, that kind of attitude. And that's it. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there is everything wrong in choosing to believe in that way of expressing that old frustration is a spiritual thing. It is, well, then being a manifester. Because it's not, you see. And like I said, there are moments in life which will make you aware of these aspects of yourself that need to be fixed. And at the end of the day, they just need to be adjusted. A bit of clarity needs to be shown, a bit of enlightenment needs to be, shined upon them within their life. So that's going to be about it when it comes to manifestation. What am I doing here in Florida? What have I been doing when it comes to manifesting anything? Well, I expected a long time ago that I'll be self-employed. Money won't be an issue. Freedom will be easy. I'll be able to stay in countries for months at a time, not just weeks or weekends. It never made sense to me. And one more time before I close down, when it comes to when I was talking about when you were a kid, you wanted to chase a feeling and then reality bent to your will. Well, before I actually came here, on this tiny manifestation on my journey of the many little events within my life that I had set out before I incarnated here in life, and I can remember all of them. It actually feels like I live in the past because I know what's coming next. Yeah. Suffice it to say, Vice. I wanted to chase a feeling. What was the feeling? Success. not money success. When I say success, that is a trigger word. People have this definition within their mind of what success means to them. To me, success is me basically aligning to what I know as an individual soul or aspect of source consciousness here, and basically me speaking my truth and acting upon or in accordance to my morals, what I know is true. That to me is like a self-fulfilling, a self-sustaining success kind of mentality. It's very unique unto myself, you know? Being able to be me, that's a big one. And not get knocked down by everyone, or at least not to take everything personally, to be transparent, to be a being on this earth that can do anything he wants without, well, taking anything seriously. Being humble is something I expected of myself. Notice I said past tense because I'm already there. There are so many things that I've already aligned myself with and I have now brought out of my imagination, you know. And that just reminded me of the last thing that I wanted to say in relation to this life being a dream. What is a dream? Think about it. What is a dream? A dream is when you close your eyes at night and you end up experiencing a simulated reality built out of your wants and needs. Your subconscious mind feels the need to put you into this state of being so that you can experience that which you are not giving yourself permission to experience here in 3D. You're dreaming out the life that you're supposed to be living here. Yeah? So when people say live your dreams, what they're actually saying is to act on your ideas, to manifest or to bring about in alignment with your environment a result which will better reflect your imagination, you're projecting, you're creating, you're living your life in accordance to what you want your life to look like. It's like your mind has been flipped inside out and all of your thoughts are on display. But if you go to sleep and you're not practicing manifestation, you're not practicing putting into action your thoughts, your ideas, you're not practicing reaching your standards, you're not practicing getting above your standards, and I may make a topic on that later on my YouTube channel, then you'll always just be a daydreamer. You'll be walking around dreaming inside your head. Window shopper, looking inside of the window, staring at those cars you've always wanted. You know? And to touch more on cars, cars give you what? A sense of freedom. No one ever said you needed that specific car. There's a belief around that convinces you that you need that specific make because it justifies an insecurity or something like that. It often is something like that. Yeah? Buses, bikes, they all get you to the same destination. Friends get you to the same destination. There are so many other ways to get to that destination, but why? Why do you think it needs to be done a specific way? You see? Psychology gets in the way of manifestation. Beliefs get in the way of manifestation. I'm Ryan JC. Ryan James Grubber, this is me living my dream. My mind on display and captured through this lens. And also, let's not forget, this is your potential. If you guys would like to know more about manifestation, I have a course on ryancropper.com. It talks about how to use lucid dreaming, literally shifting into different characters to... I really don't... It will create a huge change in this world. I don't want to go too much into it on camera, obviously, because it's for people who have brought the course. It's not really fair on them for me to disclose information. And also go over there to ryancropper.com if you want to find that out. And I'll speak to you pretty soon. I gotta get back to my life. Peace.